This is Bloomberg Businessweek with Carol Massar and Tim Stenovec on Bloomberg Radio.
We're getting some conflicting data on the economy. We got that unexpected rise in August job openings that sent yields screaming higher, equities lower earlier this week. The sell-off pausing, though, after private payrolls data showed U.S. companies adding the fewest number of jobs since the start of 2021 last month. I like to say it's complicated.
It is complicated. It's also complicated what's happening on the ground when it comes to how Americans and international travelers are spending their money. How tough is it for companies to find employees? We love checking in with those people who have such a great view on what's actually happening in this economy, at least when it comes to leisure and hospitality.
Yep, one of those people is Vince Parotta. He is Chief Operating Officer of Omni Hotels and Resorts. He is with us live here at Bloomberg headquarters. Vince, you chuckled.
I did chuckle.
It's complicated.
It is complicated.
How complicated is it right now to operate in this business environment?
Well, I think a couple of items that I would point out from a recruitment standpoint. It's very tough. We're all the brands are, looking at the same availability of talent. There isn't what I would call an enormous amount of talent.
All levels?
All levels. It really, where we're seeing the most impact on a positive side is on the management trainee entry-level positions. Those seem to be normalizing back to 2019.
Okay.
Certainly COVID had an enormous effect on those positions. And as these hotels were closed, hotels and resorts were closing, the talent was going to different industries. And so we're working really hard to grab the talent back, but there's a lot of competitiveness to grabbing that talent back. And at Omni, I think that what we really focus on.
So you're giving them big bonuses, you're giving them lots of vacation time. What are you doing?
Well, I think the number one, your benefits package has to be competitive. We believe our benefits package is one of the best in the industry in the U.S. And the other issue for us is to ensure that there's an ability to move within the organization. So hiring with the ability to promote within the organization is huge. Our company culture, which I believe is extraordinary, is another element. It's kind of our secret sauce that employees and managers feel very comfortable within the organization. There's a lot of transparency, a lot of ability to move up. And so that really makes a huge difference for us.
What are the toughest jobs to hire for?
Without a doubt, they're the housekeeping department jobs. They're the stewarding. They are the culinary jobs. And I would say also the server jobs.
You know what's so interesting is we just spoke to people here. But I mean, big
Gideon
part of this
Mobs.
is Gideon.
Yeah.
Who is with an organization that works to connect refugees with many companies around the country. He's at Tent Partnership for Refugees, and he's got a solution to this.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would love to hear it.
Hire refugees.
Yeah.
And work with them. Yeah.
That's something that for sure we'll take a look at. What we do focus on too is our H-2B visa. There's opportunities to bring kids and young adults from different countries to work for a distinct period of time, 18 months to a year are these visas. And so we've had a lot of luck with that.
Yeah.
But in the end, the best result for us is to find somebody that's going to be more than 18 months or a year, somebody that's going to have the ability to move up through the organization.
On that, for those that you hire, are you paying up? Do you have to pay more for them?
For sure. If you looked at the pay scale in the departments that we talked about in 2019 versus what they are today in 2023, without a doubt, we're in the 20% range of more.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And in some cases, especially for culinary, it's becoming so specialized and so competitive with restaurants, resorts, hotels, that's really skyrocketed a bit.
That mirrors, we've talked to a lot of chefs coming off of the pandemic and just saying that staff, they definitely, first of all, everything was shut down, right? So they didn't need to work, but they've gone elsewhere. Yes. They have found jobs that are what some would say better conditions, better paying. It's a better situation. So what do you do? Because I feel like increasingly I go to a hotel and they're like, maybe you don't want turned down, and I understand some of it's environmental.
Right.
But I can tell that it's tight in terms of folks that are either coming in, turning over the rooms, and so on and so forth. So what do you do if you don't have the workers?
Well, I think what's important and what Omni does really, really well is our service standards. we have set our standards to be executable based on the staffing levels that we have. And so what we don't want is one hotel to have the turn down, for lack of a better way, or daily housekeeping services. What we're trying to do is make sure that for these positions, we're able to execute for the customer in a consistent way.
Does that mean managers are maybe stepping in?
Well, it means, I was just going to say, it means managers may be stepping in, but at the same time, the amount of rooms that we give a room attendant, we need more room attendants because we want to make sure that the quality of life is strong. And so if we reduce the amount of rooms that they have to do, we're able to attract more, and we're able to execute more. So a lot of that has happened since the pandemic, that those adjustments had to be made. And now it's just, the productivity's in a good place. We feel very good in those spaces that we're providing on a consistent level.
Well, let's talk about the other side of the business. How are bookings? How's the consumer?
2022 was a unicorn year for
Was it really?
for all hotels and resorts in the Americas. Asia was still closed. Europe was partially opened and then opened later in 22. So that transient and leisure business in 22 for most hotels in the Americas was really, really strong. And it didn't need as much group business because it was so strong.
Right.
But our business is cyclical for Americans traveling. And Asia's wide open, so in 2023 there's a lot of travel to Asia. Europe was the summer of Europe, so that's wide open. So where there is really great green shoots is group business. So our group business at Omni, for example, is higher than it was in 2019.
So tourist groups, right? Tourist groups?
Or business?
This is business groups.
Oh, okay.
This is groups within the U.S.
Okay.
These are companies that are
conferences, that kind of stuff?
Conferences and incentive travel.
We started doing conferences, right? I feel like in the last year in a big way.
And so that is so much stronger than 19, stronger than 22, and we're pretty flat on leisure.
Interesting.
But
flat's better than negative.
Yeah, on the business travel, it's negative. It's negative still to 2019. And look, to me, 2019 is the best basis of comparison for us in the hotel industry, only because 22 was so different. 21 was a recovery year. But the leisure travel isn't going away. It just expanded. People were traveling all over the world.
So leisure back to 2019 levels or even better?
It's a little bit behind.
A little bit behind. And business travel's not back to where it was?
No.
How much is it still off from 2019?
I would say 20%.
Wow. Okay. And that's, go ahead.
Well, is that because of Zoom?
Well, I just think that there was a lot of companies that were able to do incredible work on Zoom, Teams, whatever the technology was. But it's never going to replace face-to-face relationship in business, and it's going to come back. Every month is better than the last month. Every year is looking better than the previous year. So when you're within the 20% range, I think it's just going to take a couple of more years for it to normalize.
Just have about 30, 40 seconds left here. I didn't hear you say recession at all. Do you not see any kind of recession in the next 6 months, maybe 12 months?
If we look at our forward-looking bookings for group, and it's the same with leisure, we don't. We have great numbers going into 25 and 26.
Wow.
So, that's on the group side, which is really going to help us.
Those could be canceled?
Those could be canceled if something crazy happens in politics. Anything.
I'm not trying to be glass half empty.
No, but we're hoping that it doesn't. But as we know, in the past, that certainly is a concern.
All right. Really fun. Come back soon.
I will.
That was a really fun conversation, a great window into, a group that, an area that we've been talking a lot about.
Maybe we should do a remote at one of the resorts.
Yeah,
we would love that.
What would you suggest?
Any resort in the Americas to go to?
Yeah.
Let's
you
go.
You like to golf?
I can be a golfer.
We have a brand new resort, PGA resort in Frisco, that is world class with 3 golf courses, a small golf course and 2 18 golf courses, spa, 13 restaurants.
All right.
Incredible.
We're in. We're going out to the West next week. We'll see if we can squeeze this in. Vince Parotta, thank you so much. Chief Operating Officer at Omni Hotels and Resorts.